Hi, Founder fans. Jason here, and today's founder is Shearjashub Bourne, the last client of John Adams. Now, Shearjashub was in favor of the American Revolution. He was a patriot, but when the hostilities broke out, well, he had a ship full of oil that was destined for Britain. So he thought that selling these wares would benefit both him and his investors to such a degree that it could only help the Patriot cause having more money. So he decided to use his British passport and send the ship anyway. Now, this didn't go very well because the ship was caught almost immediately off the coast of New Hampshire. And when it was caught by privateers. Now, as you may very well know, privateers are hired by a country, at this time the United States, to basically act as pirates and capture enemy ships, and in return they would get to keep a majority of the bounty they took from that ship. So, since Shearjashub's ship was seized, which is very difficult to say, but when Shearjashub's ship was seized, most of his goods were taken by these privateers. Now, he wanted this back for himself and his patriot investors. So he attempted to do so, and he brought the privateers to court. And who did he argue? Who did he hire to argue his case? None other than one of the finest lawyers in all the land, John Adams, who just happened to be on break from the Continental Congress not too far away. So Adams takes the case and he goes. Now, real quick, this is one of the few cases that John Adams loses in his lifetime. To be fair, there would be a series of appeals that would go on for 18 years. This case would last throughout the Revolution into the George Washington presidency. So, don't feel too bad about Adams losing this particular case, because the real question was, who actually gets to oversee this type of case? Not was he right or wrong, because he ends up coming back. Shearjashub is almost immediately elected to Massachusetts Assembly, and he is a patriot all the way through. So his loyalties are not questioned. The right for them to take this gear was questioned, and furthermore, what court oversees this? They were captured off the coast of New Hampshire, in New Hampshire waters, but this was a Massachusetts boat. And we have a Continental Congress. So at what level is this supposed to be seen? It's one of the cases that actually inspires the creation of the Continental Congress's judiciary. The name of the judiciary escapes me right now, but the only federal thing the Continental Congress ever did was basically put a maritime court together for cases exactly like this. Now, at this court case, John Adams is arguing his case, and John Langdon comes over and leans over the bench and says, "Hey, John, you've been chosen to replace Silas Deane as an envoy to France." And John Adams goes, "Yeah, okay," and laughs about it and thinks Langdon's joking. And it isn't until about a week later, when he finally gets back home to his house and actually sees a letter from the Continental Congress, that he realizes, oh, I am supposed to go to France. Famously, Adams does go to France. He ends up being in Europe for a very long time, after which he comes home and is immediately Vice President of the United States, after which he is President of the United States, after which he retires completely. Which means that this particular maritime case for Shearjashub Bourne is the last time John Adams practiced as a lawyer in court. And as I said, it just also happens to be when he was found out to be the new minister or envoy at this point to France. Now, as for Shearjashub, like I said, he ends up, no big deal, being a member of the Massachusetts House of Assembly, and eventually, after the Constitution's ratified, years later, would become a member of the United States House of Representatives. So, when this case, after almost 2 decades, is finally resolved, it is resolved in Shearjashub's favor, because his argument that none of these courts could work, I was trying to help the Patriots, well, it was true now under the Constitution that those courts had absolutely no authority anymore, and therefore, on kind of a technicality, the case is essentially thrown out. Again, probably easy for him at that point, being a member of the House of Representatives, to rub elbows and hobnob with his lawmaking friends in what was then Philadelphia, not yet Washington, D.C. So that's the story of Shearjashub Bourne, which I find fascinating, mostly for the John Adams parts, not so much for the Shearjashub parts, but Shearjashub is a great name. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will be back with another founder for you tomorrow. While you're here, hit like, subscribe, and I'll be back with that founder tomorrow.